back up as we do things. Unfortunately for y'all, I got the website or the show notes kind of started before, just so I could have the MP3 metadata in there. But basically, what happens is I'm going into WordPress and I'm making a new post. I have a plugin here called Simple Content Templates, which I really like. It has some pro features that are good, but I don't need them for anything. So all I do with it is I have some templates. I have one for comic reviews and I have one for episode posts. The episode posts one, that's what it's titled up here, so you have to change that. Everything else is exactly as it pulls up in the template. So I have PowerPress is where the uh, player is going to be for the audio, and it's just a real generic, this is what you're going to have here in the show notes. And then, hey, look, there's the things you're going to learn. And then basically everything down here, I don't have to worry about. There's a few things. We don't have promos in this episode because of the way the episode flowed. I'm just not doing them. So I'm going to take that out. But it's a whole lot easier to remember to take them out than it is to remember to put them in. I don't have any additional noises from Zap Splat on this one. The static, I believe I got from YouTube, from a place that said, hey, we don't care, just, like, take it. But yeah, that's where you're at. So, I already put the title in here. Um, Saving the title then changes this permalink, which is why it's open in here, because I that's how I got the episode URL to put in as the comment as I was exporting the file in the MP3 metadata. What I've got here is, I know I'm just kind of saying something. The way I have it here in the notes is, hey, here's this generic thing about thing, like, talk about it. So I don't know how big this is going to be for you. I've taken this and basically I'm just saying, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh is something I never really got into growing up, or now for that matter, since I've gotten into some things now that I should have gotten into when I was younger. Though I always was kind of around it since I was into Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, so it's not totally a 100% new thing to me. Plus the memes. Gotta love the memes. My next little bit is where, if I haven't already, I'm going to say something about the guest. Yes, I know that I just deleted a bunch of stuff instead of going back and editing that way. You do whatever's faster, and I just feel like backspacing a lot and fixing is faster. A lot of that is just because of feel. And honestly, I blame that on the horrible mice we had in the computer labs at school when I was learning how to type, because for that, backspacing really was the fastest way. Is Yu-Gi-Oh officially hyphened or not? Because I have no idea. Let's see here, because I've seen it. Okay, so we're gonna say yes. I've seen it both ways. Insert psych meme. So on these things that I want to learn, sometimes I do those as statements, sometimes I do those as questions. It just, most of the time, I feel like I do them as questions. It just really depends on how I'm feeling and what kind of verbiage pops up in my head. So we're going to start this. How will the card games translate into video games? Did anyone plan this thing out, or did stuff just get thrown at the wall? I don't know. And I want to say something about how I can't spell completely to save my life. Our kids who watch this not completely traumatized and as a general rule experience mental breakdowns. This thing is dark as fuck. Like, come on. Read the manga. It's ridiculous. We've had Luke on the show before, which makes this next bit right here where I can find it's the guest and all their social media and stuff very, very easy. Now, I've told people this secret before, but I will let you in on the secret here again, just in case you don't know it. The reason why I have everything tagged the way I do is because I can come here in the sidebar of the site and real quickly look up Luke. And then I don't have to retype everything because I can look at, wow, why are these on this direction? February. I guess I did do them in this direction. So basically, I'm going to be lazy or efficient. Take your pick. Exiled is over. But what we are going to do spells Domance Dawn? Let's look this up real quick. Tumblr, the everything way of how to do things. Do 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 do. Yay for the world. As we check Twitter, the ultimate's everything. Authority on everything. Yay. I like Luke. So Luke is going to get a link to his Patreon because I like Luke. Because that's how things work. That's all I need that for. Okay. As for the rest of the show notes, if you want to be a guest on the show, that's always the same. If you want to help support the show, that's all the same, although that's going to need to change soon because I'm taking the shop off of the site and putting it on TeePublic, I believe. Yay, I'm still a part of the Gonna Geek Network. Still find all these fun things for now. And the intro outro music is by Best Day. I have no idea if these statements are true or not. I'm assuming that some of them are actually going to be true. Okay, so here is going to be the fun part. We need some manga covers. We also need to open up the file here in Affinity. Thankfully, it is one of the recent things that I've opened, so I don't have to go look for it. I save all of this as I go. So that can leave. 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 Excuse me. Just don't need the art for anything because they're all a different episode. Episode title. Splitting it here. That's not going to work. All right. That part is nice and easy. We need to turn our verses back on because we're looking at game versus comic again. And this is not a bonus episode. I have a separate layer for bonus episode and regular episode numbers. This is how I don't screw things up. And then I still somehow do it sometimes. There, that's literally all it is. Now I know here. So we're going to go back over to the other screen and not look at Affinity for a minute. Excuse the blinding lights. Ooh, ooh, well, I'm blinded by the lights. I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head now for days. And I'm trying to find some manga covers. I want large ones because I want to make sure that it works. And I'm gonna try to find one that, let's go double check this real quick. I'm gonna double check what Forbidden Memories and Dark Duel Stories are based on, like which runs of the manga. I don't care what our teachers told us. Wikipedia is a great source for geeky things. So this is loosely based on the manga, The End. Shiny looking one. I mean, this is basically how I make the cover art, though. Looking for covers. It's the Chinese version, I want American. I like people to read it. Or the original one, which should be Japanese. And I just kind of look for one that I think looks cool. Try to find one that looks vaguely relevant to the episode. Hoping that everybody picks up on the fact that it's not necessarily All right, so if it's based on a specific run, I'll try to find one from that specific run. This one, like, isn't, so I'm not that worried about it. This one will work. So we need to get this over here. We also need to get all of my favoritist parts on here. Now, here's the part that gets really simple and easy. I definitely need a cover of the games. The games are really, really easy because they kind of are what they are. Now, a lot of people might sit here and say, hey, taking things away. Um, this falls under fair use. Fair use is a defense. It is not a way that you necessarily want to go in and say, oh yeah, I can use my stuff. Why am I going here? Moby Games is the one of the best places for finding cover art that I have seen in a while. I very rarely have to look somewhere else. And most of the time it's because like they have the Japanese cover and not the American one, something like that. Or some really obscure things they'll have just the like just the European cover because nobody else cared. But I mean, look at this. It is beautiful. So we're going to copy this one, get this in here. And before I forget, fix where I misspelled stories. That wasn't what I meant to get rid of. That's not a square. PlayStation covers are square. We're just gonna let that go. I can't just let that go. Really? Come on. Now it's a square. So we will jump back over here. Grab this one. Ooh, it has a game card in it. Sorry, you might have heard the noise that my wife has decided it is time for food. All right. Group those two together so that I can give them. Sure, this worked right. I know 50 is way too big, but this way I can give them one single shadow. And that is it. Export this thing as a JPEG because I don't need it to have the file size of a PNG. You guys are seeing all kinds of sneaky things today. Put it in its episode file like it's supposed to be. Windows Explorer, why are you going so slow? I probably need to get some more RAM for this computer. That's a completely serious thing. Should have one more little window that pops up here. I said, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm blinded by the light. I can see your touch. Right, so we're gonna go back over here. If it pops up, it pops up. We need a new image. We're gonna upload this image. I'm gonna turn the fan back on because it is hot and I don't feel like not having the fan on. And I still don't see anything popping up on the meters here, so I don't think you guys can hear it anyway. So yay, there's our featured image, which shows up in a lot of fun places. Also, we do need to preview this so that I can have Pinecast set up. Again, I'm sorry for all the blinding lights. Copy all of that because I'm going to need that for my show notes over here at Pinecast. Do, 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 do. And everything is just kind of doing whatever it's going to be doing. For some reason, links didn't get picked up, which sucks. We're going to. This is going to publish tomorrow. Automatically sets it to 2 a.m. Just going to copy and paste this. It's a full episode, and we don't have the MP3 thing ready yet. Do know what the URL is going to be. Of making the episode posting ready. Still not done exporting. And this is now like 35 minutes of doing all of this. It's a little bit weird. Usually it's faster. But that is basically how everything gets done. Just if you're curious. What else is going to happen is I'm going to go in here and we're going to put this episode art in. Want to go into the right, and we want it to be a 400 by 400. So that's where that gets pulled in. Take this little bit for the excerpt. It's me who's doing it. No content restrictions on this. Copy this from the title, copy this from the excerpt. Blah, 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 blah. Don't have to worry about anything. This is going to get published tomorrow at 2:15 in the morning. And it is an episode. It is a regular episode. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! I have some wonderful information that you can't see because it's on a different screen. Which I don't have all my information for. So how I find everything is that I basically just go in and tag everything with everything. It's really a simple concept, I think. So I have the guest. I have character. You're not really playing as a character in either of these, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to go with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise. We know that we have PS1. I don't remember how I have Game Boy Color. Cool. So we have both of those. You can see on here Konami, yay. So like we're done there. Though I need to add it on my other stuff, which you can't see. The fact that it's Konami makes it easy. Um, This should be relatively easy here too. Still Konami Konami, so we're fine. And let's see who publishes Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they get tags as well. Oh, good. This is going to be easy. Thankfully, this is not one of the ones with like everybody. I have some of these with like 5,000 different publishers. Sorry for working off things off screen. And I'm sorry if you can hear the cats. All right, so now we have all of these done. I mean, that's basically it. That's literally everything I can do until this thing is done rendering, which, because of, I don't know why, I can't see how much it's done rendering. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. And yeah, I will see y'all next time.